So, shalom, everybody. So, we are here in the Nation of Ephraim Embassy and the Sanhedrin Initiative Organization Center in Katzrin in Golan Heights, together with a leading advisor from our Sanhedrin Initiative here in Golan, Rabbi Joseph Ederi. Nice to meet you. Thank you that you are here, and we can talk about the new exciting developments we had in the last couple of days about like the topic is in our title here, the two most prominent Sanhedrin organizations are united now, and they are united, and this is for us an awesome step. And I'm very happy that you are here. I want to ask you for a little opening statement so that we can go deeper into the details and to inform our audience here our English-speaking audience and our community from the Nation of Ephraim.
So first of all, Patrick, thank you so much for, first of all, being a fellow Sanhedrin advisor and for hosting this little show. We're here to make an update on the developments of the Sanhedrin initiative, and that's a great thing. And as you said, we have a very important update, which is that we have linked up with the Nasan Sanhedrin, specifically Rabbi Mordechai Harel Tsubara, came here from Jerusalem, spent Shabbat with Rabbi Yehuda Chayak, one of our fellow Sanhedrin Initiative judges, and was very impressed by our organization, the Sanhedrin Initiative, and what we're doing. What this really means is that the two most prominent Sanhedrin organizations in Israel right now, one of them, both of them really, because Rabbi Idan was also part of the earlier Sanhedrin attempt or restart. And so both of our organizations really have members that have roots going back about 20 years to Rabbi Adin Steinsaltz's Sanhedrin of blessed memory. So I think that definitely this is something that I've been working on for a couple months now, actually. And it's still a work in progress, but Be'ezrat Hashem, the right people will move in the right direction towards Avat Chinam and respect of one another and love for one another as the Torah tells us to do. So definitely a great moment. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conspiracy theorists that are saying, oh, the Sanhedrin is moving faster. This is definitely a sign, and so on. And it is. I also want to point out, Patrick, that today we've also completed for the Hebrew speakers a solidified community with groups in WhatsApp, although it's for the Hebrew speakers and we're talking in English, but this community with groups has 6 different groups. One of them is like the mind, the other one is like the ears and the mouth, the other one is like the heart, and the other one is like the hands, and the other one is like the crown. So the crown is like the 70 judges, building the Sanhedrin, the king, eradication of Amalek, all the kingdom of Mashiach. And then the hands are business, helping with tzedakah, charity, and commerce, according to Torah, of course. And the mouth and the ears is like the shofar, which is the proclamation, the advertising, the technology, using everything we can to spread the good word. And so we have the crown, the head, the ears and the mouth, the heart, which is where we make new alliances, bring in more communities to raise awareness and things like that. And I'm forgetting if maybe some of them, but the point is that we have created a community plus a bunch of groups, as you know, organized in WhatsApp in a very nice way. And we really made a foundation for a template. And we already have other groups that already have hundreds of people. We're going to kind of slide them in to this community in a very interesting way. So we're truly building some very interesting things, the infrastructure for those who, at least in Hebrew and in Israel, of course, we reached 10 million citizens recently here in Israel. So definitely a lot of potential here, especially when we make it organized and quality and calculated. So
Yeah.
that's another development I wanted to give you guys the first exclusive public. It barely launched. We have like one article on it on the MN Global that still hasn't been published, but it's there.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, it's very exciting for us, very historic. So when I see our story is developing, when we started 10 years ago with our Torah teachings and so on in our community, and try to get some, yeah, justice in the Roman system, but we were very disappointed from that and decided to go to Israel. And all we can do to fix our problem, we need a Sanhedrin, and we started the initiative with you together, and now we are at the point when the other ones joining us, and that's, I think, for the justice and for the upcoming kingdom, it's a very, very crucial and big step into peace and into justice, and this is for me very awesome. So you have some you want to show this now, or you want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. So this is the English version and truly the first draft of the advisors and judges of the Sanhedrin terms of service. This is what the judges and advisors have to sign. The reason I brought this to show today, obviously, all judges and advisors are aware of this, specifically the ones who speak in English. We have another version in Hebrew. But the reason I bring this, and specifically the first draft, is because the soul of what we're doing is here. I show this, as you were witness as well,
Yes.
to our fellow friends on the other side, on the Nasan Sanhedrin. And we went through almost every single detail here, and they definitely were impressed, were happy, and cooperative. They didn't see any issue with it, and they appreciated the work that we put in. So, for the sake of refreshing our memory, and for all those who are signed to the New Deal with the Jewish people, let's go through some of the key points so that people also should know what the advisors and judges have committed to when they joined the Sanhedrin Initiative. So we have a term that the Rebbe brings, which is Tov Tzedek B'Yosher, which is Tov is goodness, Tzedek is justice, and Yosher is honesty. And those are the principles that Mashiach will rule under. And obviously, this is the principles that us, as Sanhedrin judges and advisors, aspire to. Okay, this is so while other judges in the world, for them it's a job, for them it's important to get a bigger paycheck or a bigger bribe. For us, we are looking for, and our ranks are filled with people that are sick and tired of the corruption in the world and only seek justice, goodness, and honesty. Okay, so that's the first piece. And then the second piece, and this is also says the Jewish people and also ultra-Orthodox Noahide, like my friend Mr. Patrick Pesach and all the other guys here at the embassy. Then we have the three principles of Torah, Tefillah, and Gemilut Chasadim, or Din, justice, which is Torah, Emet, which is truth, which is the service of Hashem in the temple, the Beit HaMikdash, or prayer, and Shalom, which is peace, but it's also representing for charity. So we have these concepts as well. And we're aiming to bring the world back to a Dira B'Tachtonim, a dwelling place for Hashem, a Gan Eden, as explained in Hasidic philosophy and as it's written in the Torah. Then we speak about Moses, how Moses was a great prophet, and the Rambam, which is also Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, his halacha can unify all the Jewish people today without much argument. And his halacha regarding Mashiach, no one argues on him, not the Shulchan Aruch, Bet Yosef, no one. And therefore we can use his halacha to establish a Sanhedrin, crown a king, eradicate Amalek, and build a temple. So we speak about that and how that has very big significance in our direction. We also explained that the Rebbe gave license to all the Jewish people today in our generation and all the people of this generation that serve Hashem, all the God-fearing people, to sit together and come up with practical ideas how to accept Mashiach, how to bring Mashiach into our lives. So the Rebbe gives us license. to do so. This means that the Rebbe is not only telling us to listen to him or whatever. The Rebbe is giving license to every single one of us to be a shliach. And just like Eliezer wasn't a Hebrew, so too the Rebbe says, if you do the shlichut, you do the messenger, you're my shliach. So with this, not only is what we're doing not a contradiction to what the Rebbe is saying, this is fulfilling what the Rebbe is saying. As we're going in halacha, and the Rebbe brings halacha of the Rambam, the Rebbe leads the way, but the Rebbe also tells us, I need you guys to do your part. The next part, we say that we had by Hashgacha Pratis, by divine providence, on our website, we had a little list of things that we were looking forward to seeing being fulfilled. We put this list together in 2018, and we already see the fulfillment of a strong Torah right-wing government in Israel. This was one of the first things that we said are going to create the foundation for the next step, which is uniting the rabbis to create the Sanhedrin. And we're definitely very, very into that second step as well. So we're definitely moving in the right direction. Our calls for unity have really, I can say, I don't know if it's because of us, I'm not a scientist, I don't know to prove it, but definitely there's a very strong calling by all rabbis today to maintain unity, Achdut, Ahavat Israel, as a preparatory step for the next step, which is to build a Sanhedrin. So there's definitely that going on. There used to be a lot more fights between the Hasidim and the non-Hasidim, and the Litvishers and the non-Litvishers, and the Sephardim and Ashkenazim. A lot of that is just going away. We're starting to focus on the bigger picture, on serving Hashem as a nation.
Yeah.
And then we say, Anshe Chayil, Yirei Elokim, Anshe Emet, Sonei Betza. We say this many times. Anshe Chayil, men of warrior spirit. Yirei Elokim, God-fearing. Anshe Emet, men of truth. Sonei Betza, haters of greed. These are the character traits of the judges and advisors of the Sanhedrin initiative. We also say that the Torah doesn't push for us to force labor or taxation in order to build a Beis HaMikdash, to build a Mishkan, the dwelling place for Hashem. It's all about Truma, Asher Yitvenu Libo. Everyone gives from their heart. If one has a rock, he gives a rock. If one has a piece of wood or mirrors, and it's all, each one according to his heart. So too, this releases a lot of stress, and this is also a sign of a healthy economy that's free of corruption. So we aim to create this kind of a system in order to push our narratives. And of course, this is the right time to say thank you to the nation of Ephraim for the greatest fundraiser of the Sanhedrin initiative of all time, where we crossed the 10,000 euro threshold. So that was great, and it's great. Next. Also, this one we said about the Geula and Gan Eden environment, and that it should be according to the values of the Torah. And then we say that the medium in the Torah for value is gold and silver. This ties into the temple coin, Nation of Ephraim alliance, and this is because it's hard to corrupt or to fake gold and silver. And so that we want to bring that back to cash currency, at least in Israel, and we're going to try to work on that.
In the Mahatzita Shekel.
Mahatzita Shekel, of course. Many of the mitzvahs in the Torah demand that we have silver and gold, I guess for sure silver, get back into the economy so that we can fulfill our freedom of religion, our Torah-based mitzvahs.
Yes.
And then we have here, we intend to switch the value of the mediums of the three greatest sins. Gilui Arayot, Shfichut Damim, and Avodah Zarah. Gilui Arayot is what we have on the internet today, just a free-for-all of impurity and improper thoughts. Of course, we're here turning on the lights, trying to talk some Torah, but it doesn't mean that the work is done. So this is not supposed to be the way that we conduct our lives, and we want to change that. Shfichut damim, bloodshed, can be summarized with the military-industrial complex and
Deep state.
the deep state, the vaccines, and all others who try to destroy society and humanity in all kinds of wars and all kinds of corruptions. We intend to put an end to that lifestyle, to put an end to that way of life or way of sustainability. And avodah zarah, idol worship. Unfortunately, people in the nation of Ephraim know this very well, that there is a very subtle yet deadly in Torah terms idol worship going on in Christianity. And of course, there's other idol worships in the world. We intend to clarify these issues with the help of the nation of Ephraim, with the help of our Noahide alliances, in order to clarify to the world that Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad, God is one and His name is one. This is a very important step. We know that when Mashiach comes, the light of Hashem, the truth, is going to be revealed even more. So the more truth we're ready to absorb now, it says that the sun is going to be taken out of its sheath, out of its cover, like what we did today with the light here. And it's going to be taken out of its cover 7 times stronger than what we have today. And what's going to happen is that the Reshaim, the evildoers, are going to be burned by this light. They're not going to be able to survive it. Just like in the Makat Choshech, the plague of darkness, right? It says, and to the children of Israel, there was light in their household. So for the children of Israel, it was light because it was a level of godliness that was able to be absorbed by them. But for the Egyptians, it was too much. It was a darkness. So as much honesty as we have with ourselves and between ourselves and man and between ourselves and Hashem, and the more we go towards the truth and we use the Torah to get there, then we will be ready and will be healed by the sun when Mashiach comes and Hashem takes the sun out of its cover instead of being punished by it. Okay, so this is idol worship, bloodshed, and adultery. We hope to change these things, and we've definitely spoken about these issues at length, maybe sometimes jokingly a little bit, but definitely address these issues.
Yeah, it's a part to make it on a funny way. So it's a big part to make it on a funny way. So it's not so it's a hardcore religious stuff. Yes, actually it is, but
easy to swallow. A little bit of sugar with the pill.
Yes, and we will see at the end. Of course, no one is talking about this is God and this is God and this is God because everyone will see it.
Yes, right. We spoke about that. Yes, that Hashem and His name will be one. And then you won't have to have that differences. But to get to the stage of the miracles, we have a lot of work to do in the natural.
Yes.
We finish doing what we need to do. Hashem will do His part.
Yeah.
And then we go to we spoke about the 3 pillars. And then we understand the concept of das. Das is actionable wisdom. When we use our mind and connect it to action, then we're using our das. And we really want to bring the Geula from a place from a reality where we think that the exile is real and that the redemption is fake. We want to turn the tables around. We want to remind everyone that God was here first and that the sin was a mistake and not the other way around. And we're just reverting back to the normal situation where God is revealed in this world. So we're bringing action into the Geula. So this is, I'm happy we went through this because it's been a while. It's important every once in a while to go through the core principles of the judges and advisors. This also helps our fellow judges and advisors, but this also helps us, the population, understand what kind of a system we're trying to build and to decide if they think it sounds better than whatever justice system they are or police system they're dealing with.
Yeah, and the other nascent Sanhedrin already seen this, and they don't want to make any adjustments. So, or have there some points to add?
So let's talk about our meeting with Rabbi Tsubara.
Yeah.
So he in this meeting was basically what we call first contact. So we didn't get into details of too much. We crossed ideas. We spoke about fundraising in the United States. Maybe myself and him go on a trip. and we do a little round. And we spoke about building the organizations and helping complementing each other. We did go through this, but we didn't get to signing. He saw it, but he didn't yet sign it. And perhaps they have terms and conditions of their own. Maybe we can read that. We didn't get to that stage yet.
Yeah, we should.
We should definitely, and maybe we can. They can sign ours. We can sign theirs. It should probably both be according to halacha and everything. There's definitely a lot more to do. There's many more rabbis on their side of the aisle that we should meet, and definitely a lot more that needs to be lined in. But I want to make something clear, Patrick. Advisors give advice. Alliances give us the opportunity to deal with people that are already in the field. So it's not just advice, it's also people that are people of action. So these alliances, of course, every person has a different nature and a different purpose, but what we're talking about here is broadening the organization in a very, very practical way. And I'm sure you have some of the, I don't want to jump ahead of some of the questions that you have already lined up, but what we're saying here is that our unity with this organization is going to enhance both organizations to work quicker and better towards our goal. And this will definitely include rabbis from their organization joining our conferences and our rabbis joining their conferences. And definitely we're going to see a lot of that happening very soon. And as that develops, we're going to solidify
growing together.
The alliance.
Yes, to growing together. So
yes, it's the united Sanhedrin.
Yes, it shouldn't be forced each other, so it's growing together. So that's a very 100%. Important. I think that's a way to implement the Sanhedrin. And it's very important to speak about the Torah, because in our understanding, the Torah is the constitution of the people of Israel. It's what Hashem is giving Moshe on Sinai. And of course, on one day, it should be adopted. And the Sanhedrin plays an important part of that. Can you say some words about this?
Yes. So the nations, if we look at the story of Egypt, for example, so the children of Israel are in Egypt for a couple hundred years, and it's almost like a pregnancy when the baby's in the stomach. And once the baby leaves the stomach, the vessel before is not relevant specifically to the baby anymore. Okay, so we have a certain birth, and this birth even before the brother sold Yosef or did anything wrong, Hashem already told Abraham Avinu that your kids will be slaves in Egypt. So the slavery is in order to smash and crush the physical animal soul. In order that he should be a vessel, when he comes to Mount Sinai, he should be ready to listen to Hashem. And the nations are, at least the ones that are going to join the Geula and not just be part of the collateral damage of the self-extermination of all evil. So the ones who are joining the Geula, those in the 70 nations who are joining the Geula that have not been corrupted all the way through and through, they're going to need to go through this kind of purification. This zikur, like when you have leather and you make it soft so that you can make it into a wallet. So this is we have in Hasidus, we have the animal soul and the spiritual soul, the nefesh elokit and the nefesh habahamit, and they're fighting over who should control the body, who is the king of the castle, and every day is a struggle, And when two people come together and they're studying Torah. So then the Hasidic masters tell us it's like two godly souls against one animal soul in that moment, But this is something that we should meditate on, and this is something that the nations have to understand. The reason for Hashem creating the world is so that there should be justice and that he should be able to do good, and there's no better good than fairness. This is how the way Hashem sees the world. So yes, you have reasons for doing what you do, and maybe you have some traumas you're working through, but at the end of the day, the sins need to be destroyed. We have to strengthen our faith. And even the hardships that we go through, It comes from Hashem. Hashem creates these hardships.
Yes.
And in Chassidus, I will go even further and say that we have the four letters of Hashem's name, Yud-Kei, Vav-Kei. Yud-Kei, the first two letters are closer to Hashem, and that is from Alma de Iskasia, the hidden world. And Vav-Kei, the second two letters are Alma de Isdalia, the revealed world. When Hashem shows us goodness, we bless him. When Hashem gives us a hard time, we also have to bless him. We have a rabbi in Gemara that used to say, Gam zu l'tova. Also, this is for the best. We have another rabbi in the Gemara that used to say, Kol man David rachamana l'tavavid. Everything that Hashem, that the merciful one does is for good. How could it be good? I'm suffering right now. But it's because Hashem is doing us a favor that we're not aware of. We're unaware of this favor in the time that it's happening. And it's coming from Alma de Iskasia, from the hidden world. And at some time, we might see the good in it. But in the meantime, we have to be happy and joyful and know that Hashem is interfering in our life because he cares about us, because we're serving him. And just to give an example of someone who Hashem doesn't care about, the snake, once he made the sin, Hashem said, you're going to eat dirt. My Rabbi Moshe Cohen told us this, Dvar Torah. Hashem says, you're going to eat dirt for the rest of your life. In other words, never talk to me again. I don't want your prayers. So the fact that Hashem gives us hardships means that Hashem wants a connection with us. And the hardships that Hashem's giving us is from a hidden place of kindness. And when Mashiach comes, we're going to thank Hashem for the pain that he put us through because something good came out of it. Now, even though it's something that seems not good, we have to be joyful when we experience this. Why? Because we know that it's from Hashem. And just for an example, Leah thought she was going to get married to Esau, and she was always crying. And at the end, she got married to Yaakov. So wasn't it a shame that she was crying? And Yaakov Avinu was very sad that Yosef wasn't with him for many years. But then he found out that Yosef is the king of Egypt. So wasn't it a shame that he was sad? And in other words, what we're trying to say here is that what you're going through is what Hashem is putting us through. How we accept that process is up to us. That's our free choice. Are we going to serve Hashem with joy in that moment, or are we going to fall into depression? So why am I saying all of this? Because when we're talking about what our friends here in the Nation of Ephraim know for years, the truth seeker, going out of the 49 gates of impurity, and going in the 42 travels in the desert, getting closer and closer to Mount Sinai, to receiving the Torah, internalizing it. There's a process to be gone through, and we should be happy in this process, and we should strengthen our faith, and we should study as much as we can, and make at least once a day. We could try to make a friend, to find a friend we can learn with a few minutes. This kind of stuff is what we need to do. And definitely anyone who's hearing this message and feels that they side with the truth seekers and not with those who are self-exterminating themselves with all their evil layer upon layer. So we should take ourselves seriously. Hashem puts us on this world and he gives us graceful. This generation has all the time in the world. Used to be that we have very little time to study. A lifespan in Europe a couple hundred years ago was about 30, 40 years old. People were not healthy and they were very, very busy surviving. Today we can live. We have conveyor belts with everything in the world, from applesauce to wine to anything. Everything is mass produced. We have now all the time and all the health, as long as we're not taking vaccines, to sit and learn Torah and to study and to connect to Hashem. So we should definitely take this opportunity. The Rebbe has a lot of faith in us. The Rebbe said that the Sanhedrin of this generation is going to surpass all the Sanhedrins before, because we have such a menuchas hanefesh to be able to study. So when even the rabbis in the Talmud, they only lived a couple years, 40 years or so. Today we have Shefa, and now we can really focus. And it says the Rambam said, ישיגו דעת בורם כפי כוח האדם. We will reach an understanding of how God works, how Hashem works, to the capacity of a human being. So we should definitely take ourselves seriously, and we should definitely know that everything Hashem is doing is for the best, and just continue to plow ahead, continue to move forward,